KPop Demon Hunters and the band Babymetal hit fresh milestones on the pop charts. This week, two old standbys, Morgan Wallen's I'm the Problem and Alex Warren's Ordinary, topped the Billboard albums and singles charts, respectively. But there are still milestones to be found, as four new albums by Gunna, MGK, Jonas Brothers, and Babymetal debuted in the top 10. Then there's the continued success of the KPop Demon Hunters soundtrack, which this week places 3 songs in the Hot 100's top 10 simultaneously. Top albums. This week's Billboard 200 albums chart follows a familiar pattern. Morgan Wallen's I'm the Problem and the soundtrack to KPop Demon Hunters sit at No. 1 and No. 2, respectively, while fresh debuts help crowd last week's debuts out of the top 10. Gone are recent albums from Dollar with Boy Dollar, Rennie Rapp and Yeet, as well as Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet, which takes a more modest dip to No. 13. In their place are 4 of the latest debuts, most of which look primed to be short-timers in their own right. At No. 3, Gunna's The Last One would seem to be in the best position to stick around for a bit, given that most of its numbers are derived from streaming. But it's followed by 3 titles that benefit enormously from physical sales, which, as always, tend to be front-loaded toward a title's first 7 days and don't carry over from week to week where the charts are concerned. First up, MGK. That's the artist sometimes known as Machine Gun Kelly, debuts at No. 4 with his new album Lost Americana. At No. 6, Jonas Brothers return to the top 10 with Greetings from Your Hometown, though the album's sales-heavy numbers are boosted by an absurd number of variant editions, vinyl, deluxe versions with bonus tracks, and so on. There are, in fact, more than 50 CD variants. Enough, in fact, that it's hard to imagine even the most degenerate Jonas diehards bothering to collect them all. Then comes the latest album by the Japanese band Babymetal. The group, which fuses sugary pop and, well, metal, has been releasing albums for more than a decade. But it's never cracked the top 10 until this week, as Metal Fourth debuts at No. 9. The vast majority of its numbers are derived from sales, with a set of variant editions to give even those of the aforementioned Jonases a run for their money. 15 vinyl variants, 6 CD editions, 3 cassette editions, and so on. It would be a shocking upset if Metal Fourth is still sniffing the chart's upper regions next week, but a top 10 hit is a top 10 hit. Incidentally, 3 notable, and decidedly different, debuts pop up just below the top 10. The rapper J.I.D. bows at No. 11 with God Does Like Ugly. The country singer Bailey Zimmerman kicks off a new chart run at No. 12 with Different Night Same Rodeo, and Ethel Cain enters the Billboard 200 at No. 14 with Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. Finally, it's worth noting that KPop Demon Hunters continues to close the gap on I'm the Problem. Both are blockbusters on streaming, but while Wallen's album is fading ever so incrementally, KPop Demon Hunters has experienced gains every week, based on the chart metric known as equivalent album units, since its debut 8 weeks ago. That's exceedingly rare on the Billboard 200 in the streaming era. KPop Demon Hunters will almost certainly experience a boost from the release of physical editions this fall. The question is whether it can fend off the competition long enough to hit No. 1 before every life form on Earth gets crushed under the heel of Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl shortly after its scheduled release in October. Top songs. Speaking of KPop Demon Hunters, HUNTR/X's Golden finally hit No. 1 last week, thanks to robust streaming numbers and a much-needed surge of radio airplay. That left Alex Warren's Ordinary sitting, bereft, at No. 2 after 9 non-consecutive weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100. This week, Ordinary and its hard-working choir exact their cloying revenge as they return to No. 1, fueled in part by a fresh live recording from Lollapalooza featuring country star Luke Combs. Giving Ordinary a country makeover was a smart move, given how long major country hits can sit in heavy rotation. Just ask Shabuzi and Morgan Wallen, whose songs have been mainstays in the top 10 for ages now. Heck, Shabuzi's A Bar song, Tipsy, is still milling around in the top 10 in its 70th week on the chart, more than a year after it began its record-tying 19-week run at No. 1. If Ordinary remains in the top 10 at this time next year, don't say you haven't been warned.